YouTube. How are you? How is everybody doing? Just wanted to come to you with a little information. I didn't want to bother going live. I'm probably going to do a rant in a little bit, but anyway, first I wanted to bring to you that there is breaking news about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Now, there were no specifics or receipts given, but there was a tweet, which I am unable to show on this upload because I'm talking to you from my phone. But at any rate, they're claiming that the prosecutors in the trial have just gotten caught tampering with evidence. Now, I don't know what evidence they could possibly be caught tampering with. His gun sent the bullets out that did the damage. So, again, I'm not sure. And, again, this was breaking news. There was no evidence sent. There is a video link in the tweet that I'll check out a little bit later and listen to, but it's a whole podcast, and there were no timestamps given. So, you know me, I procrastinate sometimes having to listen to an hour-long podcast when people are talking about subjects and things that don't really have my interest. And then when you fast forward, you end up skipping and missing over some things that could be very relevant and important to you. So I don't have any receipts, but I'm sure I'll have them between now and tomorrow. So that's something for Kyle Rittenhouse. And I told you guys a couple of days ago that the governor had already called in National Guard, 500 National Guard, just in case the trial goes south. They're trying to be proactive and prepared in case there's any rioting or, destruction, things of that nature happening. So that's it with Rittenhouse. But let me tell you about this. Now, I think I might be about, 2 weeks late with this information, but better late than never. So Hawaii, right? Hawaii's police department made a purchase in the amount of $150,000. This purchase was for a robotic dog. Now, it doesn't look like a robotic dog. It looks like a robot on four legs. And what this robotic dog's job is it is to go out and scan homeless people for Killer Pete. Now, allegedly, this robotic dog can scan a person's temperature can their temperature from 7 feet away. They had 2,200, I think they said out of 2,200 homeless people scanned, there was 14 that tested positive for Killer Pete. They claim that the robotic dog can deliver PPE equipment and water to those who may be infected and have a desire for it. Of course, this robotic dog has two-way communication, which means that the police department can communicate remotely with the dog, and the dog can communicate remotely with the dispatching office or the monitoring section, who is responsible for monitoring this dog's whereabouts, his scans and information and things of that nature. They are actually going out and picking up these homeless people who who have a fever, who meet the requirements, and it did not give a detail of the requirements. I'm sure that'll be coming a little bit later in the receipts. I'm going through the receipts and I'm getting caught up, so I'm sure as I continue to scroll down, I will probably run across the specifics. But given the fact that this is a robotic device whose job is to identify people who test positive, I can only guess the same way here in the U.S. where they're putting up black lights and L7TA lights. The purpose is to get the police out there to pick them up. And here's the thing. It is supposed to be testing your temperature to see if you have a spike. And then if you have a temperature, they're coming out and getting you to bring you in to be tested. Now, if this is a robotic dog, with robotic capabilities, and he's scanning you, would it be safe to presume that at the same time he's scanning your temperature, he's probably scanning for your RFID code? You know, the code to your microchip. So what's the narrative that's being, or the story that's being given to the public, is that you're scanning temperatures to see if they're positive. But could it really be you're scanning to see if they've already eaten the applesauce, and if they haven't, you're actually picking them up so that they can get vaccinated? I mean, it just seems a little suspect to me. This is something that is just on my mind, and I'm thinking out loud. Um, I don't know. Technology advancement um, has taken a different turn. We used to really depend on our advancement to protect us, keep our borders safe, keep us safe, to assist us in any wars, surveillance, or monitoring, this type of thing, from watching the bad guys and making sure the bad guys weren't trying to do anything to us. But it just seems like, instead of us being concerned with the bad guys, it seems like if you haven't been vaccinated, you've now been deemed a bad guy. And instead of us monitoring people international and overseas, they're monitoring people right here on our own domestic soil. I don't know. It's just a little aggravating for me. And of course, the video was a camera video, excuse me, shit. It was like an interview. Nobody was asking questions, but the chief of police did a video and basically said that he was proud of the $150,000 purchase. He felt that it was a good investment. He also stated that because it is a robotic dog, it minimizes the chance of a human officer doing these scans manually and potentially getting infected. So it reduces the chance of spreading infection to the police officer, which that makes sense. But watch this. When the robotic dog comes in out the field, he got to have a handler, right? He got to have a handler that plugs him up for recharging. He's got to have a handler that refills the PPE equipment and the water. Somebody has to handle the dog. Is that person wearing gloves, wearing a mask, being protected? Are they scanning the dog to make sure that the dog is not covered in some, I don't know, some fluid or something that could be harmful to its handler? It's city official handler. I mean, I always have questions when I look at these things, but this is what I've seen so far, and I'll keep them coming. I'll chit chat with y'all in a bit.